Hello and welcome back to another reaction. In this occasion, Nichijou episode 11. Yeah, last time I genuinely believe that was the funniest episode so far of the series. It has so many jokes that connected to me that really I was laughing all the way through. Especially the ridiculousness of the scenarios, which is not something odd, is not something new for this series. This series always gave us such amount of ridiculousness that you cannot believe, and even though you believe that you get used to that type of jokes, you get surprised in the end, because again, the punchline of the joke of most of the jokes in Nichijou is not something that you expect. You think they are going in one direction, but no, it turns out it was something completely different, and that is what makes it so much fun to watch, so much fun to laugh at. It's genuinely so much fun to see in the screen. And all the characters, we have our main characters, but most of the characters, yes, they are perfectly characterized, for a lack of a better word, and you know what to expect from them, but still you are surprised with the jokes. But the jokes feel kind of in place for the characters. They make sense for the characters once you see the punchline. So yeah, it's a pretty hard balance to get. In my opinion, it's comedy gold we're having here. But anyway, yeah, I said I was going to give up in the description of the previous episode, so yeah, let's just cut all of these and watch the next one, shall we? Okay, I'm back. I just watched a second time the 11th episode of Nichijou. And yeah, we start with a very simple joke, a Helvetic standard joke. Now, of course, we saw our characters in this kind of show is just... But it looks like a giant rat, a bird, and a person. Of course, the person is trying to collect the rent, but of course they own a lot with 60,000 yen, which I don't remember how you can kind of translate to dollars. But anyway, I'm going to put it here. It's not going to be very complicated. And then, of course, the only thing that she received was, I think it's 1 yen or 10 yens. It's not that much. Not that much to be, well, receiving, of course. It was kind of odd to see a Helvetic standard for me at the beginning of the episode. I don't know why I'm used to them being just in the middle. Not in the end, just in the middle. But anyway. Then, of course, we return to Yuuko. The next few jokes, circle around Yuuko. And, of course, she was apparently sick. She had a fever, she had a cold. And, of course, she has to stay at her house. Unfortunately for her, the tests were pretty close. And for her even worse luck, the test, or the first test, was supposed to happen the next day when she was ready to go to school. She was no longer resting. And of course, the mom kind of warned her, oh, your tests are close, and she was kind of ignoring until, bam, she remembered that the tests were pretty close, in fact, the next day. And kind of starts to blame the mom. But I love this section of blame. Because, yeah, oh, if you should have warned me before, you should give me more time to prepare. But I love the joke. You will have a study if I told you before? No! She's adamant it's the mother's fault. It's absolutely ridiculous, but it's so Yuuko. So Yuuko. And I love that section of the show. And yeah, she wouldn't have a study no matter what. And of course the mom is kind of pissed at her because the result of her tests are not the most spectacular ones. We know that. We know that Yuuko is not the most brilliant person in the world, not even in the school, and the results were, well, bad. And this, of course, comes in a place, well, which, yeah, it wasn't a good place for Yuuko. She was going to be murdered by the mom if she didn't bring good results. Of course, she wasn't going to, because she had no idea what the test was about. Then, of course, we continue with Yuuko, that she was supposed to prepare herself for the test, and she starts to write. She was going to change herself and be a new Yuuko. Unfortunately, the new Yuuko really enjoys poetry, perhaps just as much as the old Yuuko. And yeah, I have to say, from my perspective, from my amateur perspective, that was a neat poem, very, very nice, or perhaps the visuals helps a lot with the poem, until a certain point in which it looked like a gay porno. I I don't remember the name of the freaking hentai. I will put an image. Of course, this is a meme, and everybody knows this freaking meme if you have been on the internet quite a while. And yes, I'm gonna put it right here so you will know what I'm talking about. I guess a lot of you have guessed, but anyway. She ends the poem and she's very happy with it because it was pretty good. Until she realized that no, this wasn't supposed to happen. She was supposed to do something else. Now, one of my favorite sections again returned. And yes, perhaps this is a joke that is only funny to me or to a few people. But I find it so funny, the cool things that we think are cool. It's pretty funny, yes. The most silly stuff, the most common stuff, and they find it cool. And I love the enthusiasm that they gave us in this section. It's so cute, so funny. I love that section. Anyway, yeah, we return to Yuuko, and she's trying now to increase her vocabulary. She's trying to put a word, and then their translation, the attempt to try and all that, yes. It starts fine for the first word. Later on, it went downhill to another poetic rant from Yuuko. Yes, her poems are brilliant. It's just beautiful, and I love this romantic aspect of her poems. Oh, my love forever and ever and all that jazz, and the cosmos. And yes, it is, even with the freaking phrase that midnight submarine. It's, oh, we will ride with you and all that. Yes, it is utterly ridiculous, but it's beautiful. If you listen to the poem, it's beautiful. Unfortunately, that is not how the English test is going to be. She finished her poem, but is about to cry because she has nothing on the test. She knows absolutely nothing. And her study attempts are worthless, and she knows it. So what is the new solution? Be sick again. So she prepare a bath with a bunch of ice, a ton of ice, and of course she submerged herself on the freaking ice, and she pours cold water on her head. So yeah, she was definitely trying to catch a cold. And of course, I love, again, the poetic imagination. I assume this is Yuuko's imagination, the poetic imagination of Yuuko, that the two ducklings that she has on her bathtub, it starts to transform into kind of phoenix, or it looks like phoenix, and starts to fly, and there's a demon, or I don't know what is that, an ogre or whatever, in the Chinese culture or in the Japanese culture, I'm not entirely sure, but yeah, very meditating and all that, yes, it's pretty much fun. And then of course that's not it. She's going to eat shaved ice, and she's going to increase the potency of the cold to the air conditioning to the max. And again, she's trying to sleep on the top of the blanket. So yeah, she was not going to be covered on the cold. Unfortunately for her, none of this works, and she was fine the next morning. She wakes up, she ruins a thermometer because she tried to kind of burn it, and of course, that's it. She has to go to school. Then we saw, of course, again, our president of our failing club, because nobody was assistant to this club. And we discovered something amazing of this guy, that this guy is rich. He's loaded. His family is freaking loaded. They come and pick him up in a freaking helicopter, and he buy a mixer and an entire orchard to give him a juice, an apple juice, in compensation for the information that he gave him before. Another student, of course. And that's it. Yeah, that's a lot of money. Anyway, we go to the vice principal of the school. I don't remember which was his role. I think it's vice principal. I was thinking about a teacher, but he wasn't a teacher. He was the vice principal. Anyway, I'm repeating way too much. Vice principal. Anyway, the guy is having problems. He cannot put another straw figure in the locker of the principal. He doesn't have any money to eat, well, to buy food or to buy more straw, I guess. whatever. He doesn't know how to cook, is my guess, because without his wife, because he went away in a reunion trip, he cannot cook, so he's eating poorly. She cannot sleep. And all the terrible things that is happening to him. All the terrible things. It's so ridiculous because, yes, it's a trip to the south. It's just going down, 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 down. But for the most mundane things, everything started with a straw figure and ended with this terrible sensation. But of course, luckily he was optimistic and said, oh yes, no, I cannot think of the past, I need to move into the future. And that's when his daughter and his grandson arrive. And he's kind of happy, oh, my family, I'm going to spend my weekend with my grandson playing, all that jazz. And yes, the joke here is, I love it. Again, something that you did not expect. That the joke here is the fact that the grandson gave him a bowl of mud. That's it. A bowl of mud that he should eat. Of course, it's the kid imagination and you should pretend to eat. But of course, he took it way too seriously. And I guess he ate the freaking mud. And because in the end, we just hear the grandson, Mom, my grandpa faint or fell down or something along those lines. Again, the point of the joke was just that. And that is the point. That really, you did not expect that in the end. You expect another happy ending, but for the ridiculousness. And yes, I have to say, the grandson looked so adorable in this one. So adorable. And then, of course, we return to Sakamoto and the rest, of course, the professor and Nano. And Nano, being a prankster, wants to, of course, prank Sakamoto and Nano with super glue. A giant super glue. Why is giant? Because it's super. That's it. Unfortunately, the prank kind of turned around itself and she fell into her own trap. And yeah, she was worried because, oh no, she was going to starve because she wasn't going to eat any snacks. The one that was really about to die was Sakamoto, because when the professor fell down into the super glue, she kind of sprayed more glue onto him, and yeah, he couldn't breathe. And it was hilarious just seeing the movement of Sakamoto trying to escape the super glue. Unfortunately, their only hope was Nano, and Nano fell into the trap again because she didn't know what the hell was that. And of course, she fell into the trap again. It is pretty ridiculous. Luckily, we kind of see that genuinely nothing happens. They were fine. Before that, of course, the resolution to the problem of the club. That's kind of, they went and participated in a tournament. I didn't know that this thing has tournaments. Perhaps it's just a tournament organized. I don't know what happened to me there. Organized by the family of the rich kid, and since he was the only participant, he was number one. Yeah, pretty ridiculous stuff. Now, I always skip the little miracle section because, yes, it's a cute stuff that is not much relevant to the funny side of the story. But I really find this neat, and if this happened in the reality, that will be so amazing. That, yes, the people on the other side of the street, on the sidewalk, all of them form the colors of the rainbow. And of course there was a rainbow above them. So yeah, it was genuinely pretty neat. Little miracles that really, if that happened in the reality, that would be so freaking amazing and so cool to see. Anyway, we returned to Sakamoto and he fell for a second time in the trap of the glue. But before that, of course, Nano and the professor being kind of cute, playing this who am I game. And it was pretty cute, really cute. Our last joke is, of course, Yuuko and the test. Now, really the test. Yuuko didn't know anything. Really, seriously, nothing. Nada. Nothing. And of course, this is completely ridiculous because some of the answers she have seen before. The flying man, and I don't remember the other one, but yeah, she saw those answers and she could have been answering those, but the dramatics that she went through, oh my god, this is awful, this is terrible. Even the eraser, which is kind of a weird, is it a sand eraser? I think it was. I genuinely don't know. Yeah, it was a sand eraser. I put it on my notes. I never heard of a sand eraser. Really, I have no idea what the hell is that. Anyway, we go back, of course, to the test, and in the last 10 minutes of the test, oh no, I need to relax. And again, she starts to do their, I don't know, yoga pose, and it's not a yoga, it's meditation pose, I think is the correct term. I said nothingness, going to nothingness. Unfortunately, this took so much time that the 10 minutes went by very fast, and she missed the test completely because she didn't answer anything at all in the test. And here it comes, one of my favorite stupid moments of the show. It is so small, so ridiculous, so little in the grand scheme of the episode. But I found it so funny, so hilarious. When we saw the dramatic moment of Yuuko saying what, and she still has the hand pose of the meditation pose of her hand. And yes, again, it's utterly minimal. It's utterly small. But I found it so funny. I was laughing so much in that moment. Anyway, we go to the extra scene, and of course, we saw again a classical moment. Oh no, before that, of course, the Yuuko and Mai moment. When she was kind of putting an umbrella above her, saying, "Oh, the rain." But of course, it was kind of hiding the tears of Yuuko because she failed the test and she knows it. Anyway, now we saw to the extra scene, of course. The principal received an interesting package in his locker, a simple butter roll. This, of course, goes back to the principal that the vice principal, sorry, that the only birthday gift he received was a butter roll, and now he gave that thing to the president. And of course, the president reacts just as he reacts to the freaking straw figure, which is utterly ridiculous. Okay, nah, I cannot describe the way that the principal reacts. This is just so funny. And of course, our presenters for the last, well, not the the presenters of the next episode. Let's say, of course, a ball of steel or iron, I don't know, and a ball of mud, and that's it. Again, Nichijou has this magic that even if you kind of believe that you know what is going to happen, it's the opposite. It never happens what you think is going to happen. So yeah, that is beautiful, and I love Nichijou for that. Anyway, now I really exhausted the topic of this episode. A marvelous one, a very funny one. I am still unsure if it's the best one or is the second best one. But anyway, I hope you enjoy it, guys. And yeah, see you. Oh, sorry. Thank you for your attention, and see you in the next one. Bye.
Okay, I hope you enjoyed that video, and yes, thank you so much for your attention, guys. And as always, if you want to leave a comment, that will help me a lot more. If you want to give me a like, that will help me even more to get on the top of the recommendation for YouTube. And if you want to share this video, that will help me even more. So yeah, thank you so much, guys. Thank you so much, guys, for your attention. I hope you enjoyed the video, and yeah, see you in the next one. Bye.